Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tego Cyber's channel. This is video number 2 with both Chris and Shannon. Glad to have you guys both back.
Thanks,
Good.
Michael.
Good. Glad to have you. So, I want to talk today about the value of threat intelligence. Shannon, this is right up your guys' alley. This is what you guys handle every day. So, I was wondering if Chris, you could give your perspective on it to start.
So, threat intelligence is not only critically important, but it's actually mandated as well. So, many industries, finance, healthcare, they have requirements through federal regulation, through certification process that says you have to do some type of threat intel, which is an understanding of what bad guys would look like, how they would come at your network, how they'd come at your assets, and so you could detect them kind of as an early warning response type of procedure. When you're dealing with your security operations teams, these warnings, these identifiers or IOCs, indicators of compromise, are important, but they're also at times distracting because around basic threat intel or even traditional threat intel, it really just says, hey, there's a thing, it was known to be bad, so you should not do any business with it. And that becomes a problem because when, depending on your business model or your business industry, that warning of something bad actually could be incorrect. And if you as a security operator take an action to say, I'm going to prevent that communication from occurring, you could actually be negatively impacting business. And that's a space that no CISO, no security analyst wants to be in when they get in the way of the $1 million deal. That's not a good position for security. You have to enable that thing. So threat intel is mandated, required, important, and also needs to be relevant to what's going on at the moment.
Okay. Shannon, is there anything you want to add to that?
No, I think Chris pretty much covered it.
All right, fair enough, Shannon. So then I'm curious. Then, do you think threat intelligence has gotten the focus it deserves in the current world? Do you feel like there's still a lot of headway that needs to be made?
There's definitely a lot of headway that could be made. More and more enterprises are building threat intelligence as a part of their cybersecurity strategy. And you also see the federal government is realizing the value of cyber threat intelligence. In fact, President Biden's executive order on cybersecurity mentions information sharing and threat intelligence at least 3 times in 3 different sections. So it's definitely something that more people are realizing the importance of and the value of. So the possibilities are endless for Tego in this space.
Yeah, it makes sense. And it is unfortunate. It seems like what actually gets the information out there is once things already happen, right? It's then people are like, oh, this is actually a humongous deal that we need to pay attention to.
Absolutely. And one big important piece too to mention is that there is a big difference between threat data and threat intelligence. There's lots of providers out there that say we give threat intelligence, but it's really just a little piece of information, a single piece of data that says perhaps this IP address is bad, which to Chris's point of that doesn't really help a security operations team when they're working in an incident, just to have that one tiny little piece of information. Then they have to go out on the internet and search, why is this bad? Tell me why it's bad. Do I need to hit the panic button and spin up incident response? So having the intelligence, having the context is a very important piece of threat intelligence that's missing for quite a few providers.
Yeah, it does make sense. And Shannon, that was something you and I talked about before. And Chris, you touched on this where data could come in and actually not be a threat, and you could potentially miss out on something that was not a real problem if you don't have a platform that can actually interpret the data itself.
It's absolutely correct. So, trying to change that language into something that a person who's not into cybersecurity understands is, somebody knocks at your door at 2 in the afternoon. Is it a threat? You don't take this such. You're just like, oh, it's Amazon dropping a box off or something like that. The same exact knock at 2 a.m., you immediately say something's weird, is abnormal, and you're treating it differently. You internalize it differently, so you treat it almost as a threat. What's going on? Something's weird. This is not normal. So the data around that's important is, let's say you have your Ring camera on. So now what you can do is you can turn on the Ring camera, you can observe what's going on outside. You can see, oh, it's my neighbor and they have some emergency, they need my help. Conversely, it could be it's somebody who I have no idea who that is, and there's 4 of them and they're getting ready to knock my door down. So that context around not just there's a warning, a knock at the door, but what does that knock at the door, embody, and what's on the other side of that issue, that information around why it's important is critical to making, bringing additional value around your threat intel.
Yeah, that does make sense in relation to figuring out what it is that's coming through, and it does make sense to use someone like Tego Cyber as opposed to trying to figure it out yourselves. Would you say that using your own native team building it is negative versus using Tego Cyber, or that Tego Cyber just offers the whole package to where all they have to do is essentially agree to hire you guys?
So what I would say is that if your business is making widgets, you should focus on making widgets. And you should look to use partners to help your business out in the areas it needs. So when you make widgets, do you go build your own building? No, you hire somebody to build your building for you. You hire somebody to do those things. You don't make your own paper to wrap your product in. You work with these business partners, and you should do that with any type of security, and cybersecurity is no different.
That makes sense. Shannon, is there anything else you want to add before we go?
No, if anybody's interested, please visit our website, tegocyber.com. We'll be providing a lot of information shortly about our platform and the value of our threat intelligence.
Wonderful. Well, Shannon, Chris, thank you so much for coming on. If anyone has any questions, we do have a link to the website below, or leave a comment below and we'll answer it. Both you guys, hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Mike.